מתחיל. Hello, Rafael, can you hear me? Hey, Rafael, how are you? I cannot hear you, Rafael. I cannot hear you, Rafael. Hey, Laura, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
You too.
Let's just make sure that Rafael can join us. Rafael, can you hear us? I cannot hear you. You are muted. I think you are muted. Rafael is muted. Let's see.
Tell him to say something.
Yeah, Rafael, can you say something? Make sure we can hear you. We cannot hear you still. We still cannot hear you from some reason. All right. Can you say something, Rafael? Rafael, can you say something? Yes.
Yes.
Now, yes, finally. Excellent.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's complicated. It's a new place.
You're in a new place?
Yes. It's my little atelier, my little workshop.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So, how was your week, guys? How have you been?
Good. Yeah. I worked a little. I was really glad I finally worked a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot, but I wrote and I drew. The class is helping me to keep it going, you know?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you like to be the first to share the home assignment, Laura?
No.
Okay. Well, you came first, so I mean you appeared first on the video, so I'll give you the honor.
Do you want me to go first, Rafael, or do you want to go first?
Oh, go first.
Go.
Okay.
Okay.
Rafael is a gentleman.
So I watched a whale video and I was trying to learn about, I was doing some research on the singing and why they sing and their behaviors. And I used to work with whales. So I decided to do a little piece on how she connects with them and why she connects with them and why their sounds are what their sounds meant. And so I'm not going to read the whole thing I wrote, but it was kind of metaphysical and spiritual, and it was also research based. So that was fun. And then I did just what I did one drawing. I'm kind of embarrassed to show it because it's just a sketch, but I'll show it to you guys. So.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So I don't know if you can see it, but she's like part human still, and she's part transforming into a, is it hard to see?
Now I can see. Oh, she's kind of in an embryo position.
Yeah, she's turning into a whale in the picture. It's kind of hard to show, but she's having a lot of fun with it. My character was having a lot of fun transforming. So that's really all I did this week. I didn't do much more than that, but it was fun. I had a good time with it.
Do you want to share some of your writings, just a little bit, just kind of some of it?
I could.
Okay,
let me see. I have to find it. I have to minimize you guys. Hold on.
no worries. Let me make sure I can share my screen. Hold on, let me show.
Okay.
Screen sharing.
Oops. I'm not good at computers, so okay, got that minimized.
1 second. Screen sharing. Multiple participants. Okay, now you can share.
Okay, I gotta get it. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So the last thing I wrote was um, oh my God. I have too many stories. You know what? Can you come back to me on that? Because I have to kind of dig. I have
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. By the
Okay.
way, have you seen the film The Whale Rider?
No, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
It's a beautiful film from New
Is it-
Zealand about a little girl, and it talks about how tradition, how she basically fights tradition, and she becomes a symbol of a new relationship with nature, because in the Maori culture, there's only the male. Basically, it's a certain. I don't remember exactly what's the exact position, but she basically breaks the entire tradition of the Maori culture. She becomes the first girl to do some very beautiful connection with the whale. It's a really beautiful film. Check it out.
Nice. Oh, very good. I will. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Rafael, how about you? How was your week?
Very, very good.
Okay.
Let me. I tried to invert my camera. Okay, I think is that because I'm in a new place and it's my
Rafael, I think your internet it's been kind of funky a little bit. It's hard to hear you. Rafael, can you hear me? I cannot hear. We cannot hear Rafael. Your audio has been cut off again, Rafael. No, we can't. We cannot hear you, Rafael. You've been muted again. We cannot hear you, Rafael. You're muted again. There's something in your audio that. Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you. Now there's sound.
okay. Okay, it's complicated. Okay. I stick on the concept of the fox and his family,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have all the stuff I do this week. But because I begin with some sketch, advanced drawing.
Oh
nice.
wow, that's beautiful. What is what is this? What is this machine?
A candy machine, but it's very mechanical. It's not because it's not electric, not. It's very ecological because it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's beautiful,
And
Rafael. These are
here,
beautiful.
but it's not the original because I'm here because for the project final, I have some some sculpty stuff. I have a lot of stuff here.
Wow.
how-
Are you gonna build it in? Are you gonna sculpt it?
Yes, it's why I'm here.
Wow. Are you gonna make actually a physical model of the machine?
Yeah, of the machine. Yes, that's my goal.
That's incredible. That's so beautiful. So tell us a little bit about your process. That's very impressive, Rafael. Please tell us a little bit more about you. What are you up to?
I think to create that. If you look, it's very wood and plastic colored. And I have some here. I have a word turning. I do some word turning stuff,
With wood.
and I have some. I think to create some assemblage, I have a lot of piece of plastic.
Uh-huh. That's so beautiful.
And
Are you yes.
And I think to not necessarily final, but my objective is to create all the families, because it's a family that there are a beer for a beer take the plant, and it's beer farmers.
And are you going to make are you going to do stop motion animation?
Oh, that's my dream to do that.
I mean, are you building the model for stop motion?
Oh yeah. But maybe I'm going to have some armature somewhere where I have an armature. Anyway, I have some color, a fine color.
Mm-hmm.
The
Clay.
color of the clay, yeah, clay. No, some color like that.
Uh-huh. That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Are you thinking to maybe go to the company to pitch them the animation once you're ready? That's your idea?
Yes, this company may be another, but my goal is to not only make the stuff, but make a presentation, a professional presentation. But ask me a lot of questions how to present stuff very solidly. That's a
I don't understand. Can you please repeat? You ask questions?
Yes, I have a question. How to present a project, at some investor.
Yes. So we can talk about it. That's gonna take some time, but can you please let's communicate through email. Send me an email, and I'm gonna give you more. I'll give you some ideas how to present it, how to create a presentation for investors. So once you have a little bit some kind of an outline what you want to create, basically then once I know what is the materials you're going to create, I can give you guidelines, and then I can give you some tips what else maybe you can add in terms of the presentation. Does it make sense? Okay, fantastic, beautiful. That's very ambitious, and it's really very thoughtful. I'm really impressed. Thank you for sharing, Rafael.
Yeah, very nice. Mhm.
Okay, guys, we have a lot of stuff to cover today. We're going to talk today a lot about things that have to do with the marketing. So today's subject, we're in class 5, and we have one more class. So today, let me just put my screen sharing back. 1 second. I'm gonna so I can show you my screen. 1 second. Okay, beautiful. So today's subject is week 5: cross-platform applications, planning ahead with your IP, and building a compelling brand that intrigues and inspires. So as you can tell, we veered way beyond just the concept of character design and storytelling. Now we're talking a lot about the last week, and today we're going to talk even deeper how you create cross-platform content for what you create, because we already understand that we live in the age of multimedia. We have internet, we have virtual reality, we have many tools at our disposal. So in this class, I'm going to share with you a lot of different possibilities, and we're going to think about how to strategize your IP, your brand, and what would be the best ways for you to share with the world. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's go. Let's start. Now, I was asked by a few students about how to brainstorm for ideas for character design. So I create a very quick animation for you. It's kind of a warm-up exercise. I like to use very simple objects, how to brainstorm. So I'm going to show this animation, and let me show you a little quick example how I brainstorm. Just give me a second. Okay. That's it, very short. 1 second, let me turn it off.
I like that music.
Thank you. So basically what I did here, I took a very, very simple object of a milk jug and I created a little outline and I printed on a piece of paper with 4 different views. And the idea is basically when we take something very mundane that we have laying around the house, it can be anything. It can be a bottle, it can be a spoon, it can be a cup of whatever it is. When you create variations, what you do is basically we let go of preconceptions about idea because our mind is very good to have very rigid projections about the reality. So this idea of this exercise is basically you take something that we have a certain concept about that and you give it a whole new meaning. So in this case, it was a milk jug. So if you need some a little bit to loosen up with your creativity, I highly recommend this exercise. It's really, really fun exercise, and you can do that. So that I just want to share that with you. I hope it will inspire you. Now let's move to the slides. I have we have a lot of things to share today. Just give me a second. Okay, can you see my slides?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. I'm still figuring out this thing. It's 1 second. Why I don't try to figure out. Can you unmute yourself, Laura? I muted you by mistake. Okay, now I got it. I'm trying to see why I don't see my screen. 1 second. Give me a second. Trying to see why I don't see my screen. That's very weird. Let me switch that off. You guys don't see my slides yet, right?
No,
No,
not yet.
I don't know why it doesn't show my slides. Give me, please excuse me. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Okay, got it. Let me go back to my slides. Okay. So the first thing we would like to talk about is a cross-platform media. Why, let me turn this off. Why it is so important for your brand and IP. So we realize that the storytelling for children is way beyond just publishing a children's book. So I would like to, we're gonna have a few case studies I would like to share with you of some IPs that we're going in all directions, basically as children's books, merchandising, toys, games, again, and some of them are very well known, like such as the Peppa Pig. So today's media landscape has opened up the doors for a flood of new platforms, channels, and ways for children to tune into favorite characters and programs. The formula for content creators used to be fairly straightforward, but with infinite choices to grab viewers' attention, every concept requires a from scratch approach. Today's content creators no longer need to simply know their audience in terms of creating a storyline. They also need to know their audience in terms of the type of format and platform that works best where and how you're watching. So we spoke about how there's a constant engagement and feedback back and forth between the content creators and the audience. Because we live in the age of social media, the feedback is pretty much immediate. You can see through Google or YouTube or Instagram, whatever platform you use, you can see the analytics. You can see what content works, what content doesn't work. That gives you a pretty good indication how to fine tune your approach. For example, I like to post stuff on social media. I usually, like I told you before, I use Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I notice that there are certain type of content that I post, they're more popular. For example, people like to see me when I draw. So I do a lot of that stuff to show how I draw. People like to see like a blank piece of paper, and then they like to see how the drawing basically materializes in front of their eyes. It's something people really enjoy. So I do more of that. You know, it doesn't mean you guys have to do the same. You have to find what is the approach that's best for your content. When you're gonna start sharing your storylines and your characters, you gotta kind of, it's basically experimentation. You have to find out what works best. And I'm gonna give you some more examples, excuse me, of other things that I've done in the past to promote my children's books in terms of the video I created, my approach and everything. How they are working, how is they are watching is at a quickening rate, says Jason Grasso, Senior Vice President of Licensing, North America, Family and Brands, E1, which has historically been very selective, yet successful in a preschool programming. It's chosen to greenlight Peppa Pig, PJ Masks, and Ricky Zoom, which we see at the top of the page. And we're going to see some examples as well. With the proliferation of multiple content platforms and mobile devices, which are all accessible to young children these days, we're finding generally that families are consuming content at a much faster rate, and we're competing for attention against a vast number of other shows. She says, a commitment to producing fresh content, therefore, is paramount to maintaining popularity. Fresh content is the key. Even if you have, let's say you just published one book and you want to promote your book and you don't want to do anything else just by promoting your book, you will find that you have to be very creative in terms of how you promote your book. And we're going to talk about there much more in depth later on in the class. I'm going to give you examples, but it's really like just what I showed you right now with this example of how you come up with character, how do you warm up yourself with character design. You have basically endless possibilities how you can promote your own book or whatever you decide to launch, whatever format you decide to launch. So that gives you basically a lot of room for experimentation and creativity, something that you should definitely enjoy. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Now, Peppa Pig is a very interesting. It's a very. Are you guys familiar with Peppa Pig?
Yeah, my daughter loves them.
Super popular, and I'm going to actually share with you a very interesting observation of this content, because on the surface it's very sweet and very cute, but there's some very interesting motifs to that IP that are very I thought it's very worth the observation, but nevertheless it's very successful. So let's take a look. Okay, 1 second. Oh, what a cute cat.
He's a big boy.
What's his name?
His name is Meeper.
Meeper, what a cool
Yeah.
name.
Look
How old?
big he is.
15
Wow.
years ago today, on May 31st, 2004, the world was introduced to a family of animals.
Hold on. For some reason, it's showing it very small. Just give me a second. Oh, I see. Need to make it bigger. Okay, let's start again.
Animated pigs who would become polarizing figures in
1 second. Quality, okay. Let's start again. Can you see the YouTube?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
years ago today, on May 31st, 2004, the world was introduced to a family of animated pigs who would become polarizing figures in children's entertainment. There's Mummy Pig, the hard-working mother who devotes her life to her family. George, the dinosaur-obsessed child who uses emotional manipulation to get his own way. Daddy Pig, the family man with good intentions who just can't seem to do anything right. And there's the star of the show, the titular character herself.
I'm Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig is presented as a colorful juvenile show with innocent storylines and wholesome characters. The episodes are just 5 minutes apiece, and they don't exactly have a reputation for being controversial. The plot of each episode is usually so remarkably mundane that you may think there was
1 second, I'm stopping it. I want to see why it's skipping all the time. Just give me a second. I want to see if we're going to change the quality. Let's see if that's going to resolve it. 1 second.
there's no possible way that they contain any nuance or dark undertones. But that's where you're wrong. Peppa is our protagonist, and she comes across as an innocuous character on the surface. She has entertained millions of toddlers across Ireland and the UK, and she is described by Nickelodeon as a lovable, cheeky piggy. In my opinion, cheeky is a more suitable term for this character, but it is a profound understatement. Peppa Pig's characterization is far more complex than we may realize. The target audience will take everything they see on the television screen at face value, but Peppa's character extends beyond jumping up and down in muddy puddles and singing the Bing Bong song. Peppa Pig has a lot of noticeable personality flaws. She is apathetic, she has a grandiose sense of self, she is rude to her family and friends, she envies other people, and she is quick to turn against them out of spite. What's particularly striking about this is that these are some of the primary personality traits of narcissists, and Peppa exhibits these traits in various episodes. So, in this video, we are going to explore this behavior, and we are going to get inside the mind of Peppa Pig. Peppa is far from an ideal role model for children, and a lot of parents rightfully perceive her as a bad influence. Peppa Pig has a lot of friends who she usually gets along with. Susie Sheep, Candy Cat, Danny Dog, Emily Elephant, Zoe Zebra, and... But all it takes is one minute incident for Peppa to instantaneously turn against them and temporarily end their friendship. Peppa is one of the original pioneers of cancel culture. If she gets jealous of a friend, she will just cancel them then and there. And Susie Sheep was a victim of this in one of Peppa Pig's most infamous scenes. In season 3, episode 28, Peppa has an existential crisis due to her inability to whistle. Peppa's character flaws are evident in this episode because she believes that if she can't be successful at something, then nobody else deserves to enjoy that success. When Peppa discovers that Susie Sheep can whistle, she is not happy for her friend. She is envious that she can't do what Susie Sheep just did. So how does she react? Like this. Susie Sheep was officially cancelled. Peppa Pig has proven on multiple occasions that she indulges in her own success at the expense of others. She is an egotist who believes that she is above everybody else, which she basically admitted at her birthday party. Peppa's family once hosted a fancy dress party for her birthday, and she had to decide who wore the best costume. Her friends dressed up as a nurse, a pirate, a witch, Peter Casey, a dinosaur, and a carrot. There was no prize for the best costume here, but there are also no prizes for guessing who Peppa chose as the winner.
And the winner is me.
Peppa is not only a self-centered character, but she can become hostile at any time, especially towards her brother George. Despite the fact that George is a baby with uncontrollable emotions, Peppa fails to show empathy. She vilifies him if he does anything wrong, and she never takes his feelings into consideration. I think this clip speaks for itself. Surprisingly, George is not the primary victim of Peppa's shenanigans, because Peppa usually directs her volatile behavior towards another member of the pig family. This is a character who is mercilessly bullied by his family and friends in almost every episode, and his name is Daddy Pig. If you have ever seen an episode of the show, you probably know that bullying Daddy Pig is a common trope. As a matter of fact, it has been a running gag from seasons 1 to 6, and it created one of the most infamous catchphrases in the history of Peppa Pig.
Daddy's big tummy.
It's difficult not to feel any sympathy for Daddy Pig. His weight is treated as a joke by the other characters. But this isn't a joke. This is downright bullying. Daddy Pig is a victim of verbal abuse from his family, despite working a full-time job so he can provide an enjoyable life for them. He is subjected to relentless fat shaming from everybody around him, and to add insult to injury, he is forced to acknowledge his obesity that he is clearly insecure about. Fat shaming and verbal harassment is trivialized by Peppa, who takes no shame in humiliating her father at every possible opportunity. Despite being the lead character in a cartoon for babies, Peppa acts like a bully towards her father, but she is not the only character who does this. Ironically, a lot of other daddies make fun of Daddy Pig's tummy, even though it is clearly copied and pasted onto their character models. Daddy Pig is easily the most likable character in the show, so it's tragic that his entire purpose is to be ridiculed by everybody he communicates with. As I mentioned before, Daddy Pig has good intentions. And even though he typically gets everything wrong, he always tries to do what's right. Peppa Pig is not the role model that kids should look up to. I have concluded that she has displayed multiple signs of narcissism, verbal abuse, apathy, volatile behavior, envy, and self-importance. Honestly, if there's a positive role model in Peppa Pig that children should aspire to be, it's Daddy Pig. He puts other people first. He looks after his family. He spends time with his children and tries to make them laugh and smile. And despite being harassed by his family, he never ever returns that abuse to anybody. Daddy Pig is the embodiment of the personality that other people should strive to have. His lifestyle obviously should not be replicated by anybody else because he clearly needs to control his diet. But Peppa needs to control her behavior. She may be the main character of the show, but Daddy Pig is the moral compass. For 15 years, he has been completely underappreciated while displaying compassion and empathy in every episode, and never complaining about being the punching bag of the family. So if your children watch Peppa Pig, you should urge them not to act like Peppa. Instead, try encouraging them to act more like Daddy Pig, because even though he has a big tummy, he has an even bigger heart. And that is the most important thing of all.
I think I know, excuse me, that's pretty much it. I know why it skips all the time, because when I show video, if your microphone is open, so that's basically switches between my video to microphone. So next time I'm going to share a video, if you can mute yourself, that will help the video to be more, now I figured it out. That's why it's kind of a bit skippy. So we gotta do that next time. So the reason I shared Peppa Pig, first of all, a few reasons. The first reason is because it's a major phenomena in children's entertainment. It's huge. There are so many different merchandising. Let me just go to the next slide. There are some incredible, huge amount of French merchandise and different products that are associated with this brand. There are books, games, huge collection of toys, clothing, books, tons and tons of things. There is no argument about the success of this brand. And it's very interesting because Peppa Pig, it's such a simple, the design is so simple. It's like it was almost drawn by a kid. It looks so innocent, but at the same time, it's not innocent at all. So there's a very interesting contrast between the actual franchise to its visualization and actually the content within it. So I thought it was a very interesting case study. What are your thoughts, guys? I would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I just want to say that guy seems really critical about, I mean, that's so normal to be a little narcissist when you're a kid, you know?
Yes,
Just my
yes,
kid was like that. So
yes.
I think he was taking it from an adult perspective. I don't know, like that. I don't know. That felt kind of funny, but my daughter loved this show because it helped her work through like conflict, even though it doesn't have a great solution, it's still relatable because that's where they're at. They're all about their self
Mhm.
and getting their way and how to succeed in the world. I mean, so it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I chose this video because it is very critical. It just because I've studied it quite a lot, and I found that was a very interesting observation. And I know there are a lot of successful IPs out there, but not all of them, or I would say even most of them, are not always necessarily observed with the critical eye. So I wanted to show something a little bit different, different approach, not like almost worshiping like many brands are worshipped. Something that looked at it from a much deeper perspective. So I thought that was worth sharing. What about you, Rafael? What do you think about Peppa Pig?
Um, I don't know a lot of Peppa Pig, but I love the animation. It's very simple,
Mhm.
very simple. But it's interesting to see how they can take something very simple to do
Mhm.
to animate,
Yes.
but create create some storytelling, some deep made the character deeper with
With the story. Yes, thank you, Rafael. As
yes,
you can
yes.
see, thank you. As you can see, your visual approach is really it's endless how you can approach your storytelling. So there is no excuse for anyone say, I don't know how to design characters and I don't know blah blah blah, because you can make it so simple. And what really stands out is really the story, that the dialogues, the characters, their interaction between each other. What's really the value you want to give to your audience? Like we spoke earlier, what's the purpose of your story? What is the value? What's the meaning you would like to leave your audiences? So really, to no one, there is no any excuse to say, I don't know how to design characters. Obviously these characters look like almost like nobody know how to design it. It's so simple, almost it was drawn by a child. It's so simple. So it's a very it's a great example. So it was worth sharing. Now let's talk more about
And
cross.
it's new, I think.
What do you mean? What do you mean of?
It's a new. It's not old stuff. It's created recently, I think. Peppa Pig.
No, Peppa Pig, it's about 20 years old. The video I showed you was done 15 years ago. No, excuse me, 5 years ago. And it's talk about how Peppa Pig started 15 years before that. So it's about 20. It's a 20-year-old franchise. It's not old, but it's not that new.
There's something I wanted to point out too, is that
Okay.
I think kids like naughty. They like somebody who's going to be mischievous, or there's suspense, or that's like me and that's okay. I was brought up on Aesop's fables, and it was all about morals and being good. And even though I liked the books, I didn't like the morals,
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'm not showing it from a place of righteousness. It's good or bad. I'm just showing it as a phenomena, and I wanted to show a certain observation that is worth looking at. And obviously, there are a lot of great things about the show because it's very successful and kids love it. So there is no argument with success. So let's continue about cross-platform platform media. There is an immediacy to grab kids' attention and then to hold it, nurture it, and grow it with them. It's exciting because we are being forced to think and rethink of new ways to make something fun and exciting. At the end of the day, kids want to go on a fun ride and venture into new territory. So even like you said, Laura, you were grown on Aesop. So a new territory would be to show new characters with new personality traits. Because if we are raised on being always nice and gracious and kind and certain, like I would say, sometimes even just Christian values, it's going to become over redundant for many children because they want to see a new territory. It's not just visually, but also in terms of the character traits, what kind of personas we want to present. So that's absolutely another example. This can come in the form of a new look, interesting designs, diverse characters, like just we mentioned, and or overall fantastical world building. The approach is the most precious and significant step. It's really the seed of the idea and how it grows from there. If the seed is bad, the crop will be bad. If good, it's unlimited potential. The farming is a whole other process. Just something that came up to me is like if you think about the Simpsons, when the Simpsons started, I think it was 1989. The approach of the Simpsons was very, very unique at that time in terms of the animation, the stylization of the characters, and the craziness of this family. You know, the whole nuclear, the whole nuclear thing, which was a very big subject matter in the 80s. So there were a lot of fresh things that were presented in the Simpsons, even though it's not necessarily for younger kids. But if you basically the thing that you want to be aware of is what's happening today in terms of storytelling, what kind of narratives are basically repeating, like superheroes. It's a big subject matter. So how you can create something fresh. So that's something for you to consider. Now let's look example of the PJ Masks. And if you just can just mute your sound just for the duration, that would be great. Thank you. Let's go there. Okay.
Hey, Mango! Leave those PJ Masks alone! Gecko, how nice crop is. Room for one more pet. Super Gecko camouflage. Huh? You sneaky cheat. I can't see you. Can't hide, Gecko. I will find you. Gecko, careful. Oh. Ah, found you. Rescue Catboy. I'll keep Moondell busy. Here comes some Gecko power. Longer, but just long enough. My super cat speed. Great job, Gecko. Come on. Hey, Mungo, ready to face the PJ Masks? This will be easy. All together. Mungo, meet Lionel. Nice one, Lionel. Why so moody, Mungo? Don't like being licked by a lizard? This won't be the last you see of me, PJ Masks! Moonboard! Lionel! Oh, get off me! Oh! Into action! The PJ Masks never let me have any fun! But Mungo, you never look after pets properly, and Barry and Rupert weren't your pets to take. Here, maybe you could look after this instead. Oh! I'm really sorry about before. I wasn't a very good superhero. Yes, you were. You rescued us. And Barry and Rupert. Now let's get these pets back to school where they belong. PJ Masks, all shout hooray! Because in the night, we save the day!
So in terms of innovation, what do you think the innovation here, guys? You can unmute yourself.
Well, I mean, kids love superpowers,
Mhm.
Superpowers is all like what they think about is like extra strength, flying, jumping. So I think it's pretty innovative, personally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Rafael? What do you think? Where do you see the innovation here? I cannot hear you, Rafael. Rafael, you are still muted.
I
Now
I
we can
don't
hear you.
like. Oh,
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm muted.
No, we can hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. I find I don't love. I don't like. Um.
You don't like this overall.
I don't know. I must think about the show.
Mhm.
Not the not the style.
Hmm. Well, it is. For my opinion, it is very cute. It's
But
kind of,
maybe, but
yes. Yes, we're listening, Rafael.
yeah, it seems like a lot of show I looked when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young,
Mm-hmm.
I look a lot of show like that. French show. Um, Maybe not in Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
In Quebec, there are a lot of when I was young, there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of old animated show. They come from Japan, and it's
Mm-hmm.
Japan made a show only for Quebec and French,
Mm-hmm.
and it's translate yeah, Quebec in French, and I see a lot of things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I agree. I mean, it is
But
really nice.
I need to
Oh yeah.
what the name of this show?
PJ Masks. Let me go back. It's this one right here on
But
the
what the name of this show?
here. Let me go. PJ Masks right here. PJ Masks. So
What,
I'm
what age is PJ Masks for?
I would say preschool to maybe first or second grade, not more than that. It's young audience.
The last week,
Yes, Rafael. Rafael, I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, Rafael. We cannot hear you. I cannot hear.
the next time I'm going to show you. Uh, uh,
Yes, we can hear you, Rafael.
and now you hear me?
You've been cut
Okay.
off, Rafael.
The
Your
next
microphone is
time
going on
I'm
and off.
going to show you some poster of ah
You're gonna show us a poster of what? We cannot hear you, Rafael. Again, you've been cut off. I think you have some connection problem. If you can check your microphone connection, because you've been going on and off. We can hear you and then we cannot hear you again. So if you can check your microphone, okay? All right, let's continue, and then we can come back to you. So let's talk about another form that's been very utilized a lot these days. It's called the
yes.
short form content. Basically, short form content is basically creating very short clips of different content. Now, you can use if you publish a children's book, you can create short form content from your book, or you can just create standalone little cartoons or snippets of content, very short. So we're going to talk about that. Some of examples, like for example, Disney launched an app called LOL, that brings short form videos to kids, because today kids pretty much, I don't know the statistics, but most of kids have access to tablets, smartphones, and computers. So we also know that there's a lot of kids with short attention span. So the short form content is very well suited for the short attention span with children. you can grab their attention in a much shorter time. They don't like always to watch something very long, or they lose interest very quickly. So let's talk a little bit about the short form content. While shorter isn't always better, short form content is providing to lend itself perfectly to the digital era. And today's always on the go viewers, short form is now servicing brand owners and content creators in a multitude of manners. Like if you can look at some of the images here in this collage, they are creating short form content out of existing Disney Pixar films, like from Frozen, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, and also from other stuff, which is they create new stories. And we know that big brands, they like to milk their content to the max, so they are maximizing it to all the possibilities they can, because they want to, like the word they use a lot, consuming is really the main keyword they're using. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's all about consuming. Short form content, if launched before the series, helps to gain awareness as well as set up the narrative for the linear series, says Pete Yoder, Vice President, Cartoon Network Enterprises. We found that using short form content in conjunction with our linear series helps to tell a more robust storyline to our fans. And there are many other networks that are basically doing the same. They're at the same time, they have the linear, or basically the ongoing series of certain content, and separately from that, they're creating very short cartoons, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, etc. Like Peppa Pig started with 5 minutes short animated snippets. So it's a very effective way to gain audience, because if you want to create a brand, one of the things we spoke about last week, you want to create audience. Okay, now let's talk about another example for short form content Through the Woods. Back in 2018, Fred Rogers Productions excuse me, Fred Rogers Productions launched its first mobile first series, Through the Woods, on Houghton Mifflin Harcourt app Curious World. The Emmy-winning series featured 3-minute episodes, 3 minutes, very short, with a nature-driven message. A small order of short-form videos can be a great way to pilot an idea for a show, since the financial need is not as large. Basically, they're trying the strategy here. They're not trying to invest a lot of money in a long series. Usually the most common form when I was a kid was about 22-25 minutes animated series, but now they're doing 1 minute because they want to test the waters. So they're not really investing a lot of money. They're just kind of experimenting, which gives you also the same opportunity to do the same with your content. Okay, says Ellen Doherty, executive in charge of productions, Fred Rogers Productions. Creatively, you get to develop your characters and stories. Then you can test their appeal in the wild, on services like YouTube and Curious World. It's like a reality. It's like a really big focus group. So big focus group, basically, you test the waters, and that gives you the opportunity to see. Like I said before, like when I posting content, I like to experiment with different types of content that I post, and they do the same with their animated content. So that gives you another opportunity to evaluate how you want to approach your content in terms of animation. Again, even if you're like you, Rafael, animator, but you, Laura, you're not an animator. So either you bring somebody to work with, or you can create your own stuff. And it's not necessarily you actually need to animate, as we're going to see later. You can just use static images. But when you present them on YouTube, they come across as media. So there's many ways to do that, even if you have zero background and abilities in animation. One Animation is another company whose experimentation with different formats has paid off. The company started with snackable, like very short 1 minute shorts, before moving to 7-minute episodes, then 22 minutes specials, and a mobile game for oddbods. It's non-dialogue preschool series. Basically, there is no talking, only images, visuals, movements, and music. This strategy has been playing a great dividends. Our broadcast footprint expanded by 70% since at least in 2018 to 60 broadcasters and other platforms. Basically, when you create content and it starts to gain popularity, other channels, they want to start to to use your content because it brings viewers, and also you can also make money on YouTube if your stuff becomes very widely watched. You will start to get money. I think over 100,000 views on YouTube, you start to actually receive money from YouTube because they use advertising. So it's a very great format. Now let's watch a little example. If you guys please just mute yourself for just for the duration of the animation. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, again, I'm in the. Okay.
Through the woods. Berries and brambles. Do you really think she'll like it?
She loves everything you do, Ryder.
Okay, good. Opie, let's go.
Wish her a happy birthday from me too.
Dad. Love you. Granny is going to love her. I know she is. Wait you there. Come on. Woohoo! Oops. Excuse me, chipmunk. Where are we going, Wolfie? Wait up! Wolfie! You've got thorns in your paw. Oh, I'll help you. All better. Berries! I wonder if these are people food. Maybe berries that grow in the woods are only for animals? Let's ask Grandma. She'll know. Come on.
Honey, where have you been? That's not the way you and Wolfie usually come.
We were racing with someone, went off the path, and we saw into a prickly bush and found these. Can we eat them?
Well, let's take a look. Honey, these are wild raspberries, and it is safe to eat them.
Want one? It's yummy.
Thank you for asking if you can eat these, Ryder. Some things in the woods are not safe to eat. Always ask a grown to be sure.
I will, promise. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy birthday, Granny.
Oh, Ryder. Thank you.
Open it, open it. I made it. It's a little bowl to put stuff in.
And I love it. And I love you. Thank you, my Ryder.
I wanted to do something really special for you, Granny.
You know who's really special to me? My Ryder. Why don't you show me where you found those berries and we'll pick some more?
Very simple and beautiful. It's definitely encourages children connection to nature, and being always there's always the figure of the older mentor, like the mentor figure that is always available. What's your observation, guys? What do you think? You can unmute yourself, guys. You can unmute yourself.
I thought it was very sweet and endearing, and I like I mean, there's little morals in there, but you know, they're very important because kids do eat stuff in the woods. So, you know.
Yeah. Just don't touch the mushrooms, right?
Right. Yeah.
What
So
do you? I mean, today it's so important because so many children are raised. I think the value here is not because we're going to talk about edutainment, which is another very important and a valuable format, the educational value. Because today a lot of kids, they are grown up in urban areas. So the connection food to nature is so important. What is your thoughts, Rafael? What do you think? I cannot hear you. You're muted again, Rafael. No, still muted. No. Okay, we'll get back to you. Try to figure out your microphone. Are you back, Rafael? Rafael, can you talk? Can you say something? No, we cannot. We cannot hear you. We still cannot hear you. Okay.
Is that Fred Rogers the same as Mr. Rogers? Did he create that?
No, it's a different network. Mr. Rogers is something very old. It's something. It's a new production company. So more on short form content for established brands. Short form can serve as another means to bolster characters and storylines. That's very important because when you create short content that focuses on certain characters, you can enrich the viewers, kind of get more into the world. Like for example, if you create your in your stories of shamanic adventures of Jesse, you can choose certain characters and they can you can create shorts that focusing on certain characters, like they say, to bolster the characters and give the viewers a deeper insight into their worlds, into their adventures. That's very another possibility. Wildbrain, it's a very known animation studio, for instance, has become a go partner for many to develop shorts and manage their brands. YouTube channels, from classics such as King Features, Syndicates, Popeye, to toy brands such as Just Plays, Hair Doables, and Redwoods Ventures, Smooshy Mushy, and others. For Mattel, which is one of the, I think the second or the first biggest toy company in the world, YouTube has been a powerful tool to hone its brand's messaging, such as in the Barbie vlog series, which we covered in previous classes. And they're actually, by the way, they're about to release, I don't know if they released already, a full feature Barbie film with I forgot what's his name, the actor from The Notebook. Forgot his name. It's very, very famous actor. Him and I forgot the names, but it's huge. I saw online he got paid like I think like $20 million for his role. Ken in Barbie's Ken, you know. We have established a consistent girl empowerment message for Barbie that resonates with kids, but also allows parents to understand the purpose of the brand, says Lisa McKnight. So basically, the purpose of the brand is girl empowerment. Very simple, says Lisa McKnight, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Barbie. The number one request we hear from children, because you see, they are very tuned to the feedback they receive from the audience. The number one request we hear from kids is that they want to talk with Barbie. So when you combine that with the fact that we are number one girls brand on YouTube, we have a powerful platform to showcase empowering stories in a relatable way through their favorite characters. Again, we can argue about the value of Barbie in terms of what kind of education or what kind of role models you want to give to girls, right? So that's another thing that you can consider. Is that something you want to go with or not? But nevertheless, it's very popular, at least in North America. Barbie vlogger showcases teachable moments that highlight Barbie as a relatable role model and shatters the brand's dated image by tackling topics such as sorry reflex and feeling blue. So there's a lot of contemporary trends in social media that have to do with say sorry or I'm feeling blue and things like that. So they are basically capitalize on those social trends and create content. That's another thing that when you create, even if you just publish a children's book, you can create shorts that not necessarily tackle storylines from your book, but tackle social issues in a relatable way. So that's another something for you to consider. Now let's watch, this is a really cool example of Mattel, how they are capitalizing on the short form content using one of their series of toys of the Jurassic World, obviously in partnership with Steven Spielberg and movie studios, how they create content that is standalone, but based on their toys. It's a really, really cool example. If you can, guys, mute yourself again, please. So let's go back.
out I left the gate open back at the ranch. Come to think of it, Blue's not gonna be too happy either. I wonder what's worse, angry human or angry raptor?
Hey, miss, you can't be on the yacht without a hot hat for safety reasons.
Oh, sorry. I'm just looking for my, lost dog.
Ah, well, what's he look like?
Blue?
Let's see.
She's gotta be around here somewhere. What's happening?
Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
Safety first? Hungry, are we? Ah, there you are. You're welcome. Time to get out of here.
See, very simple, not much of storytelling here, but very conveniently, Mattel is using their own action figures and toys to basically create an animation, stop motion animation. There is no even lip movement. They're just basically static faces, and you hear voices and talk dialogues and editing. That's very simple. So if you choose to create a certain line of physical objects that pertain to your IP, you can do a stop motion animation, whether these are sculpted toys, or if you can unmute yourself, by the way, whether these are sculpted toys, they can be fabric made of anything you can do. So stop motion is really simple to do. And there's even apps that you can download on your iPhone or your smartphone. You can do stop motion at home. It's very simple. You just have to set up, the stage, some lighting, and then add some sounds. Pretty straightforward and simple. So it's a great example how Mattel is utilizing the short format to promote their toy lines. It's clever and very simple. Now let's talk about another case study. Short form content is no longer just a supplement to traditional linear programming, but a standalone programming that garners sometimes even more of an audience all on its own. That's very interesting. Look no further to this than a success of today's rising social influencers, cross-platform children's media company, Pocket.watch. If you can check up their website, it's a Pocket.watch. For example, they have tons of different content of their own, worked with leading YouTube channel influencer. It's a little boy named Ryan Toys. Ryan Toys, he gives, is a star on YouTube. He gives reviews of toys. It's a little boy that became a superstar on YouTube, Ryan Toys. To launch the Ryan's World Consumer Product Program that's garnered more than 40 partners. The toy line, which launched exclusively on Walmart last fall, went to be named to multiple holiday toy lists for 2018 and beyond. I think the variety and flexibility in length and format, as well as total creative freedom offered by the platform, is very exciting and appealing, says Stone Newman, CRO of Pocket.watch. Brands can launch digitally first, especially when associated with some of the largest YouTube creators on the planet. So in this case, the strategic move was basically to partner with an influencer that already exists on YouTube and work with them. That's another way for you to do that. So now let's watch a quick animated clip from Pocket.watch, kind of to get an idea. If you guys, again, please mute yourself. Go there. Oops. That's the website, by the way, of Pocket.watch. Why it's playing so slow, because we're on. Anyway, guys, you got the idea. You can check out their website later on, Pocket.watch, creating tons of original content and partnering with influencers on YouTube. So let's continue. Okay. Now let's talk about opportunities. By the way, do you guys have any questions so far? Any observations? Any comments? What we've watched? If you can unmute yourself.
I do.
Yes.
So it seems like a lot of this is play shop or like creations from like I don't know much about play shop, but I don't see a lot of like drawing or watercolor or stuff like that. So can you just add like is everything kind of created from video? You know, I don't know how to say it. Like
you mean digitally?
Digital, yeah.
It's very interesting observation. As you can see, most of the stuff, everything we've seen so far here are digitally generated animations. Nothing is hand drawn. Not to say that does not exist. I'm going to show the upcoming slide some examples of independent book creators that using traditional art, and it's really up to you. It's not really does not mean that you cannot create, and I think the more the world is saturated with digital art, especially now people are doing AI, which is sometimes becomes ridiculous because people even claim that it's their art, but you can clearly see it's not their art, it's AI. So it's absurd. So I think today there is even more appreciation, if you ask me at least, that there is more appreciation to something that you create with your own hands. So it's even more unique. One of the things it's really when you talk about finding opportunities, the whole idea of finding opportunities, what can you do that others don't? How can you express yourself that other in ways that are not by others? Because most of creators and even studios, they are going on the guaranteed formula. They're using a certain CGI looks, which is replicated by so many. So the originality is very rare. So if you create something with watercolors or hand drawn, you have my salute and my appreciation, and I think many others, because more artists appreciate the uniqueness, and even children, when they are exposed to this kind of uniqueness, that hand drawn classical stuff, they say, "Oh, what's that? I've never seen that before." So that's a great observation. Thank you, Laura. How about you, Rafael? You have any questions, any comments, any observations? I cannot hear you, Rafael. You're still muted. Something is going on with the microphone.
He wants to talk, right?
Something is going on with your microphone, Rafael. I don't know why you're muted. Oh, okay, now I can hear you. Can you talk now, Rafael? No, I cannot hear you. No. No, we cannot hear you. We still cannot hear you, Rafael. Maybe you can check your microphone settings while we continue, okay? Maybe check your settings. We can figure it out. So let's talk about opportunities in entertainment. This is very important. As more parents and children turn to YouTube, one area that continues to grow, no matter the platform, is edutainment. Like we mentioned before, edutainment is a very great opportunity for you guys, whatever your content is. Sesame Street, for example, celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, perfectly illustrates this idea. No matter the platform or channel it's on, in edutainment, there's so much room for you guys to make an impact and not just tell great stories, but actually teach children, like we saw before, Through the Woods, about, for example, connection to nature. Why is it important to connect to nature? What's the benefit of that? Today, some of the most subscribed to kids channels on YouTube are those with an educational bent. As of the writing of this article, the Indian edutainment company Choo Choo TV family of channels has more than 33 million subscribers with more than 21 billion views. The company signed Moose Toys as its global toy partner last fall. While Coco Melon Nursery Rhymes, it's for Iranian kids, formerly ABC Kids TV, tapped Tubular Labs monthly charts for November and December 2022, amassing over 60 million subscribers. To put that into perspective, Ryan Toy's review, which we mentioned before, had just under 34.5 million subscribers. Just 34. It's such a small number, right? 34.5 million subscribing as of late January. YouTube itself is also investing more heavily in this segment, reporting last fall a 20 million investment into YouTube Learning, an initiative that supplies grants and promotes creators and organizations making education-focused content on YouTube. So this is huge, guys. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit. Maybe Rafael can figure out because I want to hear your opinion. Laura, what is opportunity you see with what you create in edutainment? Is there something that you can capitalize on in what you work on? I cannot hear you. You're muted, Laura.
I come from a wildlife biology background.
Mhm.
So I used to teach environmentalism to kids.
Mhm.
And I would really like to talk about the interconnectedness. And that's what I'm trying to do with my story about how we're so interconnected and how everything affects everything around it, you know?
Mhm.
So there's a woman, her name is grandmother Keisha, little grandmother is her, Keisha is her other name. And she talks a lot. Have you heard of her?
I've seen her. She's a young lady actually, and
Yeah.
she's wearing like a little amulet here. I remember her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, she talks, I'm right, like the same wavelength as her. So I listen to her for like 2 hours today. And she, I don't know, she just helps me to understand personally my interconnected relationship with the world and how everything is affected by everything. And so I think that's an important thing because we're getting so technologically advanced that we're forgetting, the earth and how, I don't know, there's just so much to try to get to kids before it's too late.
I agree.
Yeah.
They talk a lot today about the issue of climate, whether it's climate change or there are changes in what's happening on our planet in terms of climate. There is something that you can capitalize on as well if you kind of connect that with the interconnectedness between us and nature. Like, for example, how our lifestyle affects the planet. Like I watched this documentary 4 years ago. It's called Cowspiracy. Like conspiracy, but cowspiracy. And this documentary basically showed how the meat industry affects global warming. I mean, who knew that? I mean, you can say it's controversial, but they showed some really hard-on statistics how the emission from the whole industry of meat industry affects the planet. So this is something you can tackle, or you can talk about energy resources. Like there's a lot of arguments about whether electric vehicles today are more energy saving, they're more beneficial or not. So there are so many things that you can tackle. Excuse me. I was previously involved with a local nonprofit in North California that their whole mission is about educating not just children, but overall educating everybody about the importance of trees. So
Mhm.
they approached me and they said, okay, we would like to do a children's book that will educate children about the value of trees. So
Mhm.
I co-authored a children's book called Tree Star, which you can find on YouTube. I did not think about bringing an example, but now I just came to my mind.
Mhm.
Tree Star, it's about, there's a whole story about a little girl and her connection to native Indians and the nature, and how she can make an impact on trees. Why trees are important? Because they provide us with oxygen, right? So there are so many different things
Yeah.
you can use for your from a shamanic perspective or native Indian or whatever tradition you want to use. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I just learned that the whale of the belly that hits the 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 dust, I mean the sand and everything, it brings up the phytoplanktons, and then it opens up oxygen so that it feeds the other animals. Like everything that happens is, like so important, and most people don't even know. I mean, there's so much material.
It's
It's
incredible. I mean, what you just shared is mind blowing. I had no idea. It's
Yeah, I know. It's mind blowing. Yeah.
Rafael. What about you? Did you figure out your microphone? No, we cannot hear you. No.
Mhm.
Are you using a wireless microphone? Is that wireless?
Yes, but
Now, oh, now we can hear you. Now I can hear you. Yeah,
oh wow, okay, okay.
yeah.
No, I have wrong stuff. The next time I'm going on my computer, and it's okay.
Okay. Yes, we would like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, but I love the way you can craft some material. Almost always use the digital and 3D. But I don't know. Um, can I, by example, just an example like fast. It's like for a mark page in wood.
Mhm.
Can I use it? I don't know, with a print, some character, and I use it for promote some animation, some kind of stuff with that.
You mean with wood?
No, no, with mark page. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, bookmark.
bookmark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea actually to
Mhm.
promote stuff with bookmarks. Absolutely, that's a great idea. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can use bookmark. But also, I wanted to, if you can, I would like to hear your thoughts, Rafael. If you would use edutainment, if you use the possibility to combine education with entertainment, what would be something that you are interested to talk about? What would be subject matter that you care about? What would that be?
Nature. I love nature. I love. I have a lot of information. I have a lot of book here for that nature. I don't want to go in psychological subject because my English is not very good. I understand very well, but I love nature. That's nature technology. How to use both
How to use what?
both of them,
How
nature
to use
and technology.
technology and nature? Absolutely, yeah. That's very important. I think you touched about something very unique, the combination of nature and technology, because it's not something that we see very often in children's entertainment, how nature and technology can meet and how they can coexist with each other. Because either we can see something about focusing on technology or something that's focusing on nature. But if you can bring the two together, that can be really beautiful, like what you did when you showed the machine that you designed for the bonbon candy making. That's example of a machine. And I think maybe if you can show how this machine, maybe it works on solar energy, maybe it gets energy from solar, or maybe from the water or from the wind, like turbine or something like that, then you can show us examples for the children how you can harness the power of nature without polluting the nature. That's another opportunity, right? So that anyway, entertainment is very great. It's a wonderful opportunity, very important subject matter. I'm a very big fan and very great a supporter of edutainment. If you do it because you really get to educate children about something that they may not have been will be exposed from their parents or from school. Now let's talk about some statistics in America, reading statistics. As you can see here, I have here statistics for 9-year-olds, 13-year-old, and 17-year-old, and there is a very clear decline from 1984 to 2020. The statistics are not very promising. Obviously, children, they spend less time reading because now they have access to mobile technology, smartphones, tablets, etc. They spend more time on the screens. So the reason I'm sharing you this example, because if you want to reach to children with your books, you want to basically use technology, social media, and YouTube, and different platforms to reach out. Like, for example, American girls are more likely to read for fun than their male counterparts. Girls read more than boys. I mean, who knew that, right? Girls read more than boys. And here it says, the title here, 13-year-olds read for fun less often than they used to be. So overall, there's a decline in reading, and there are more girls who read than boys. So that's another statistic that you can also think about when you create content. It doesn't mean you just more cater to girls. Maybe you can find more innovative ways to reach out to boys, to encourage boys to read, because reading, as we know, is so important. But when you create like you use the different platforms and different avenues to reach out to your potential audiences, then you can grab their attention and to encourage them to read. So that's very important. I think it's worth looking at different statistics to find out the trends. Like, even when you create your videos, when you go to analytics, whether you use YouTube or Instagram or other tools, in the analytics, they will give you, they will tell you what's the breakdown in terms of age, who watched your videos, what is their gender, and what is their geographic location. These are very important analytics, because that will help you to fine tune your content. Okay. Now let's talk about using videos and social media to promote books and read aloud videos. Like I spoke before, not everybody have animation background, but doesn't mean you cannot create content that will promote your books. So let's talk about what are the benefits of books read aloud videos. There's a lot of book creators that create read aloud videos, basically them reading their books. Number one, it's the path of least resistance to introducing literature to a child. Basically, you are sitting and you're reading your book to a child, whether you're reading a snippet of the book or you're reading the whole book, you are introducing them the entire book. Instead of they read the book, you read to them. Number two, listening is easier than reading for many. Let it be the first step to the world of literature. Okay, listening is an experience that is much easier for a child to digest information. And by you reading aloud your book, you expose them to your content in a very convenient way. It would be better if children search the books on YouTube to read aloud instead of watching TikTok. I cannot agree more. I personally, I'm not a fan of TikTok. I know a lot of people use TikTok these days, but there's a lot of cons in using TikTok. YouTube is much more safer, I think, to my opinion. Number three, reading aloud can be a type of activity. Incidentally, look through different ideas for spending some quality time for kids. There's another website that I was researching there, and there's many ideas that they share about quality time with kids. And read aloud books, it's a very wonderful way to do that. Let's watch an example of one of those read aloud books. If you guys can mute yourself, that'll be great. Thank you. Let's go here.
This book is read with permission from Diane Albert.
A Little Spot of Kindness. Written and illustrated by Diane Albert. My name is Spot, and I'm not just any ordinary spot. I'm a little spot of kindness.
I've never seen a spot of kindness before. What is a spot of kindness?
A spot of kindness has a sticky back. The reason my back is sticky is so I can help kindness stick to you.
Whoa.
I come in so many colors because the easier I can be spotted, the easier it will be to remind you to be kind. Did you know that every time you are kind, a layer of happiness is added to your heart and to the hearts of others? And since you both have the power to make good choices, you can start making the choice to be kind. I know sometimes it's hard to remember to be kind, and that's why I'm here to help. All you need to do is place a spot on your hand, just like that. Now, every time you spot me, do something kind.
I can't draw. This looks horrible. Don't you know that all great art starts with a scribble?
I see it's working already. Great job using encouraging words when someone is feeling sad. Remember, being supportive is being kind.
Can I please play with your dinosaur? Sure you can. Thank you for asking.
That's wonderful that you're sharing toys. Remember, sharing is being kind. Saying hello to someone who is alone is a great way to be kind. Remember, being friendly is being kind.
I'm so lonely. Hello, would you like to play?
Saying please when you want something is one of the easiest ways to be kind. Remember, being polite is being kind.
May I have some more water, please?
Sometimes being kind can be hard, like when you break something by accident. But this is a perfect time to be kind. Remember, apologizing is being kind.
My favorite pink crayon. I'm so sorry I broke your crayon. It was an accident. Do you need help? Yes, please.
Thank goodness there was someone there to lend a helping hand. Remember, helping is being kind. It's always fun to make messes, but it can be hard to clean them up. Remember, cleaning up after yourself is being kind. Waiting in line can be difficult, but not getting upset is a great way to be kind. Remember, being patient is being kind. Now grab a little spot of kindness so you too can remember to be kind.
Great video. This video actually was published a year ago and it already received 185,000 views. That's a huge number. I mean, it's well done. It's very simple, simple art, great character design. They actually turned the spot of kindness into really beautiful character. So I think it's very very well accomplished. What's your take from that, guys? I would love to hear your thoughts. If you can unmute yourself.
Do you want to go, Raphael?
You can go. You can go, Laura. Rafael can
Okay,
go.
anyway, yeah, I thought it had a good message. I think it's very simplistic and it just seems like children would relate to it. Little children would really relate to it.
Mhm.
And I think they could have expanded their vocabulary a little bit, like maybe teach like some words, like waiting in line. I don't know if that's patience is kind, but maybe, I don't know. I would say respectful or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But overall, yes, I thought it was a good message for little kids.
Thank you. But also, if you can look at the execution, it's you see how simple the execution is. They're basically use the artwork from their book. They did really simple voiceover. They brought a couple of kids and put a nice playful music in the background, and that's it. And you got 185,000 views.
Wow,
That's a great accomplishment.
it is.
What about you, Rafael? What's your take? What's your thought about that?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I love the format, the how it's made. They teach something, and but ask me some question. How if I do some kind of stuff like that, how they do money? They sell they sell something.
You mean they sell something?
Yes, all they do the video, but all you can make money with video.
It's a good question. First of all, if you look at the description below the YouTube video, you can actually buy the book.
Oh,
And
okay.
I would add at the end of the video, there is something that they didn't do, but you can do for your video. If you sell a book, you do a call for action and said, if you want to learn more about the adventures of Spot, click this link below to buy the book, or click the link to go to a website where you can buy the book. Maybe you can buy some t-shirts, some products, merchandising, etc. That's one thing that they didn't do in this video, but nevertheless they got 185,000 views, so they definitely got paid. They got paid from YouTube, and they got a lot of exposure for the book. So that's a great.
I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
Do most people, like, I am not a graphic designer. I wouldn't know how to create any of this. So do most people work in collaboration with like other people that do the animations and stuff? Or do most people like that know how to do it and they just do it?
Well, first of all, here the author is also the illustrator of the book, just like you and just like Rafael. You guys both writing and illustrating. There is no animation involved here at all. No, there was nothing moving here. There's just static images.
Oh,
So
okay.
sometimes author, yeah, sometimes
Like
author.
getting it on there,
Excuse me?
getting it
What?
on the video, getting it on the video.
Oh, getting on the video. Basically, there are certain applications that you can learn how to use. Basically, the editing. If you
Oh.
don't know how to do it, you can hire somebody who can do this for you. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff for other authors, not just illustrating, but also doing promotion videos for them. Basically, just using the artwork without any even animation. You just like basically edit the images. You put some voiceover recording, some music, and that's it. Very simple. Animation is can be very expensive, especially CGI, 3D animation. So if you have budget, you can hire an animator. If not, you basically use the existing art from your book to create a video. So this is a great example because it's so simple, and as you can see, it's super effective. It got so many views, and I'm gonna share some more examples. We have 20 minutes left, so how to create children's book trailers. What we watched was read aloud, but now let's talk about trailers. Trailer is different than read aloud video because a trailer is like you watch a trailer for a film. It's basically a short video that promotes a book, just like you promote a film or animation. So let's talk about the some important aspects of trailers. Number one, know your target audience. Obviously, if you know who you're targeting, you can create the style, the narration, the music, and the whole overall video that targets your audience. Number two, hook your audience, create tension. You want to create some kind of a cliffhanger in your story. Number three, create a script. You write a script, whether you use the actual text from your book or you can text that describes the book. That's you create a script. Number four, you create a storyboard. You know what is a storyboard, Laura?
No, I need you to explain.
Okay, so Rafael obviously knows because Rafael is an animator. A storyboard is basically you create simple drawings that describe each shot in your video. So you basically draw what's happening in the video, and then you write underneath, shot number one, I see grandmother sitting with her child on a park, on a bench in the park. That's shot number one. Shot number two, the grandmother, she's walking with the child, they're walking home and she's buying him an ice cream, etc. So basically you break down the shots into simple illustrations, drawings that describe the action. And you accompany each drawing underneath with the text that describes what's happening there. Okay, that's a storyboard.
Thank
They
you.
use it. You're welcome. They use it in films and animation and many things. Number 5, use the right video format. In other words, let's say you want to create a video that targets just YouTube, or if you want to target Instagram, like Instagram, the format is square. If you use YouTube, you can use a horizontal format. Now, YouTube also introduced a new format. It's called Shorts. It's up to 90 seconds videos, and the format is actually vertical format. So you want to think about what format you're creating and what is the requirements. Number 6, keep it short and catchy. Very important. Like we saw in the short format. Number 7, use visuals in audio. You want to change visuals. You don't want to just show the cover of your book, for example, for 90 seconds. You want to show more than that. Number 8, have a call to action. Like we mentioned before, at the end of the video, what do you want your audience to do? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to go to Amazon, etc.? Number 9, do it yourself or outsource. Again, if you have the capability to do all those things, go for it. If not, you hire somebody or you collaborate with somebody. So I have a few examples I would like to show. If you can mute yourself, that would be great. So this example, it's really beautiful. I mean, it's so simple how it's done, and it's very effective. 1 second. 1 second, let's go here. Let's see, it's not opening. Let me try it again. Okay, it's not working. Let me go to my notes. I have the notes written here. Children's book. Finding Winnie. Finding Winnie is basically a book that's somebody wrote the story behind Winnie the Pooh. It's really fun. Did you guys know that there's a story behind Winnie the Pooh? What's the origin? Like about the bear that was the inspiration for the book. So let me just 1 second. Let me pause it for a second. Then I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a second. Just a second. And look how simple the animation is, but how it's very emotional, how touching it is. It's really beautiful.
My name is Lindsay Maddock, and I'm the author of a new children's picture book, illustrated by Sophie Blackall, called Finding Winnie. A lot of people don't realize that the world's most famous bear, Winnie the Pooh, was actually inspired by a real bear, and that real bear belonged to my great-grandfather, a veterinarian and soldier named Harry Coburn. On his way to war in 1914, Harry bought a bear cub from a trapper for $20 and named her Winnie after Winnipeg. He took Winnie across the Atlantic to the army camps, and when he had to go to the front lines, he brought Winnie to the London Zoo. And it was there that she met a couple of now very famous visitors, the author A.A. Milne and his son, Christopher Robin. This story has inspired me ever since I was a kid, and sharing it as a picture book has really been a dream come true. While Winnie is a very famous bear, when I wrote it, I wanted people to love this story, even if they didn't know the history. I'm very fortunate to have had Sophie Blackall as my illustrator. Sophie has brought Finding Winnie to life in a way that is both warm and imaginative, but also historically accurate. I often say to my son, some of the best stories are true stories. And I think that's what kids will really love about this story, is that it is a true story, and a pretty incredible one at that. Ultimately, it's a story about adventure, and about realizing that often to let one story begin, we must let another one end. I wrote Finding Winnie for my son Cole, whom I named after Harry Coburn. I wanted to remind him that you can never truly know the impact that one small, loving gesture can have in this world. After the story is complete and the cover is closed, this is the lesson that I hope children and their parents reading the story will take from Finding Winnie. This is the part that I hope will inspire people as much as it's inspired me.
Very straightforward, beautiful. In this case, it's a very simple video, and she's sharing the backstory, what brought her to write the book about the bear behind Winnie the Pooh. And she's using historical facts and historical background to present the book. So if your book have a certain element that is rooted in history, you create a promotional video trailer like she did, talk about the historical facts that are backing your story. So that's really beautiful. So simple, very simple example. I want to show another video. It's called Rapid Raptor. It's very different, but it's a trailer for a book about a hip hop or rapper called Rappy. So let's go and watch that. Let's go see that. Oops. Sorry, it's again the same thing. 1 second, let me copy the link again.
Are you ready? Are you steady? Is your first name Freddy? Well, listen to me. I'm Rappy the Raptor, and I'd like to say I may not talk in the usual way. I'm rhyming and rapping all of the time. I'm talking when I'm walking and I'm rhyming when I climb. Now, how did it happen that I started rapping? Well, here's my story in all its glory. I was born in a tree back in Memphis, Tennessee. My mom, that's Mappy, and my dad, that's Pappy. Took one look at me and got oh so happy. When I popped on my egg, hip hopping on my leg, I tried to fly, and I don't know why, but the next thing I knew, I was falling from the sky. I landed on a shed, and I smacked my head. I turned all red. I had to go to bed. But here's the big surprise. When I opened up my eyes, I was feeling just fine, and I was talking in rhyme. I'm Rappy the Raptor, and I'd like to say I may not talk in the usual way. I'm rapping in the morning, I'm rapping at noon, I'm rapping in October, and I'm rapping in June. And now I'm rapping with you.
Very simple, very well done. I'm personally a big fan of music videos because I love music and I love rhymes. So if you can present your book in such a manner, it's very playful. Kids love music, and there is very minimal animation. Obviously, somebody did a little bit of animation here, but the music is really catchy, and the character Rappy the Raptor is something that kids will definitely fall in love. 21,000 views. It's not too bad, not too bad at all for independent authors. So now, excuse me, I would like to show you two more examples of videos that I did for my first book, Snurdle, that I published 10 years ago. So the first video I did was actually for crowdfunding. I did a crowdfunding on Indiegogo first. I was actually trying to print the books myself. I ended up going to Amazon, but I did a video that basically sharing my book in this video, and I used different things, different tools that I shared with you. Okay. So that's me 10 years ago. slow. Let me reduce the quality so it's going to be playing faster. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Baruch Inbar. And this is my children's book called Snorkel. That are both written and illustrated. This is the story of a fellow named Snorkel, whose mom is a snail and his dad is a turtle. When his parents got married, they got into trouble. No one has ever heard of such a strange looking couple. Their life was no walk in the park. They constantly felt like they had some strange mark. Sturtle was born within less than 2 weeks. Neighbors came over and said they were freaks. They said that only one species can live with its kind. Therefore, your residence here is forever denied. As you can see, Snorkel is the story of a very unique and unusual character that is born.
I don't know why it's so slow. Let me try to refresh it. It's really annoying. 1 second. I'll pass it for play it forward. Okay, let's try it from here.
Story of a very unique and unusual character. Born to a very strict and rigid society.
I don't know why it's so slow. Sorry for that, guys. It's worse than YouTube. YouTube is still plays.
Does not embrace uniqueness and diversity. And therefore, Snorkel and his family are forced to leave their life behind in their hometown. They embark on an epic adventure on a search for a new home.
It's again 720. Hold on.
That will accept them
Okay, let's try now.
just the way they are. Will they succeed? When you read the book, you will find out. The reason I wrote this book is because I felt that in each and every one of us, there is a little Snorkel that is hiding, that part that wants to be loved for our uniqueness, no matter how strange, weird we think we are. I now offer you the opportunity to take part in the printing.
Sorry, guys, it's super slow. I know it's a torture to watch it, so I'm sorry for that. I'll send you the link if you want later on to watch it. But basically what I did in this video, I'm talking about the book. I'm sharing some of my art, and I'm sharing why I wrote the story, and I'm presenting myself why it inspired me to write this book. And there is a call for action at the end of the video. I'm inviting people to support the campaign. Very simple. And I'm using my skills as an artist. While I'm talking, I'm drawing some of the ideas I'm presenting. In this case, I'm basically showing. So basically, I'm showing here a pile of books, and then talking about here about festival of books, and I was trying to raise money to go to different festivals and present the book. So I'm basically illustrating the text I'm talking. So that's another way for you to present to present your book, whether you're doing a crowdfunding or straightforward marketing for your book. I'm sorry for this. Vimeo is like extremely slow. I don't know why it's so slow. So we have a few minutes left, and I wanted to show you a couple more things before we finish here. Just 1 second. So a couple more things. I'll skip the video, but I'm just talk very briefly. You guys can unmute. Can you unmute yourself, please? Are you familiar with augmented reality? You know what is augmented reality? No? How about you? Okay. Augmented reality basically is a certain technology, Laura, that you sell books, and when people buy the book, they can basically aim their smartphone or their tablet on their book, and certain animations appear on the screen as if it's jumping from the book. That's called augmented reality. So that's another, it's kind of pricey technology, but it's worth also looking into that, at least to get inspired, because some publications, some companies, they use this technology because you can see the actual physical reality around the book, but through the screen, you integrate animation into what you see actually, whether it's the book or whatever environment you're in. Some companies also use that to promote different products, like you go to a toy store and you aim your camera at a product. So on your screen, the product becomes animated. So that's augmented reality, okay? So that's another technology. Now, before we go to the home assignment, there's an example of a book that I've illustrated. This is a great marketing idea for you guys, which I would like to share with you. A few years ago, I was hired by an author from Israel to illustrate a book in Hebrew. It's called Starheart. Now, the story, it's related to the actual product, and how it relates. The story is about a little boy who finds a necklace, and he basically, the necklace have certain unique powers and abilities, but he realizes that through sharing the necklace, that's when you actually activate its power. So he's actually giving the necklace to somebody else, and then that person gives it away, etc. So it's about paying forward. And then when the boy grows up and becomes old, the necklace returns to him. So this book is teaching children about the power of sharing, okay, and paying forward. Now, the author came out with this brilliant idea. At the back of the book, which you can see here, actually there is an envelope. And if you open the envelope, there is a little necklace that actually comes with the book. So you are given the opportunity to implement what you read in the book. So a lot of children in Israel started to share this necklace, and they started to document the journey of the necklace, how it came from one person to the other. Many kids didn't want to share the necklace, obviously. So she decided to put two necklaces in the book, one for them to keep and one for them to share. That was it's a better marketing approach. The reason I'm sharing that with you, because you can think about if you decide to publish a book independently, if you print it, you can add a certain physical element that can convey the message in your book, which can be another layer of marketing, which can be, in this case, was very successful in Israel, because kids started to share on social media the necklaces they received, and obviously they promoted the book. Okay, so that's another example. So now let's go to the home assignment. It's almost 6. Number 1, by the way, did you guys have any questions so far? Any comments, any observations before we go to the home assignment? No? Okay. Number 1, I would like you to come up with a quick storyboard for a trailer of your own book. So if you would publish your book, you decide to do a trailer, I want you to think about a storyboard. Even if you don't have a book, just play with the idea. Maybe it could be an existing book. If you would, I want you just to practice storyboard for a book, okay? Number 2, if you would use all cross-media outlets out there that we discussed, which one would you utilize for your book, okay? How would you use cross-media platforms? How would you utilize that? If you would go plan a campaign, what would be your preferable ways, okay? Number 3, come up with one merchandise item to accompany your book, just like what we just shared with the Starheart, the book in Hebrew. If you would come up with one item to accompany your book, what would that be? Anyone have questions about the home assignment?
Could you give a little more detail to storyboard? I'm really new to all this.
So like I explained, storyboard is how you break down your video or animation into scenes, okay?
Right.
So I suggest you look online, see storyboards, just take a look at storyboards. So if you would promote your book in a storyboard, what would that look like? Basically, you here become the writer, the producer, and the director.
Right.
If you would direct, like, what kind of video would you create? Maybe you say, okay, scene one, I see an Indian, a native Indian sitting, looking at the sunset. Scene number two, a little girl approaches the Indian, blah, blah, blah. You know? How would
Yeah.
you break down into scenes? Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay. How about you, Rafael? You have any questions, any comments, any observations about the class?
For the trailer, I think to take a book written by someone else, it's okay.
Yes, yes. I just want you to practice doing storyboards, whatever is easier for you.
Okay.
If you would promote a book, it can be someone else's book. Okay. Okay, guys, it's just 1 minute after 6. I had a wonderful time with you guys. I really always appreciate your comments, your observations, your questions. It was a great class. We have one more class, and we're gonna wrap up our 6-week journey. And thank you guys, everybody at home that were watching the recording. And I'll see you all next week, guys. See you guys. Have a great
Bye.
week. Goodbye.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good
Bye
day.
bye. Thank you.